Welcome back to the Victory Education Lounge. I'm your host Maurice, and today we're diving deep into crescent-shaped chaos, how sickle cell attacks, part 4. Before we begin this fascinating journey, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Your engagement helps us reach more people with this vital information. Imagine your body as a bustling city with blood vessels as its highways and red blood cells as millions of tiny vehicles carrying precious oxygen to every corner. Now picture some of these vehicles suddenly morphing into crescent-shaped roadblocks. This is the essence of sickle cell disease, a molecular rebellion that turns life-giving cells into potential threats. Did you ever consider that a tiny glitch in your DNA blueprint could cause a life-altering disease? Well, that's exactly what happens in the case of sickle cell disease. This condition begins with a single genetic mutation, a minuscule alteration in our DNA that has profound consequences. This mutation affects the hemoglobin genes, which are responsible for producing the protein that carries oxygen in our red blood cells. In a normal scenario, these genes would produce a type of hemoglobin that allows the cells to maintain their round and flexible shape. But with this genetic glitch, a different type of hemoglobin is produced, abnormal hemoglobin. When this abnormal hemoglobin releases its oxygen, it sticks together, forming long, rigid fibers inside the red blood cells. This tiny genetic error sets the stage for a cascade of events, leading to what we call the crescent-shaped chaos. Imagine seeing your vehicles morph into crescent-shaped roadblocks on your city's highways. This is what happens inside our bodies during sickle cell disease. When abnormal hemoglobin, the oxygen-carrying protein in our red blood cells, releases its cargo, it behaves a bit like a mischievous child building a tower with blocks. The hemoglobin molecules start to stick together, forming long, rigid fibers. As these fibers grow, they push against the soft, flexible membrane of the red blood cell. The pressure from within forces the cell to change its shape, morphing from a round and smooth disc to a stiff and irregular crescent, much like a sickle used in farming. This transformation is not just a physical alteration, but a functional one too. The once flexible cell, capable of squeezing through the tiniest blood vessels, is now a rigid, hook-shaped obstruction. This shapeshift from round and flexible to stiff and crescent is the first step towards a traffic jam in our blood vessels. A multi-car pileup on a highway is a disaster, isn't it? Now imagine this happening inside your body's tiny blood vessels. In the world of sickle cell disease, this is a daily reality. The malformed crescent-shaped cells that characterize this condition aren't just a shape-shifting spectacle. They're also a major roadblock in the highways of your body. Unlike their round and flexible counterparts, these sickle cells are stiff and sticky. They cling to the walls of the blood vessels and to each other, creating a cellular traffic jam. This isn't a minor inconvenience, it's a full-blown crisis. These blockages prevent the smooth flow of blood, and with it, the essential supply of oxygen. This causes parts of the body to scream out in pain, a hallmark of sickle cell disease. This traffic jam in the blood vessels starts a domino effect, leading to oxygen deprivation. Without oxygen, our tissues can't survive. This is the reality for many cells during a sickle cell crisis. When we think of traffic jams, we usually picture cars honking, drivers fuming, and a general sense of chaos. But what if I told you that a similar situation could occur right within your blood vessels? In sickle cell disease, our blood highways get clogged up, not with cars, but with sickle-shaped cells. These rigid, crescent-shaped cells wedge themselves within the small capillaries, causing a blockade. The result? Areas downstream from the blockage are left gasping for oxygen, and without this vital life source, tissues begin to suffer. You see, our cells need oxygen to produce energy. It's like fuel for a car or food for our bodies. Without it, cells can't function properly and eventually start to die. This isn't a slow, drawn-out process either. It's swift and ruthless, causing intense pain as tissues starve from oxygen deprivation. But that's not all. When oxygen is scarce, organs are put under immense stress, leading to potential damage. This is particularly devastating in the brain, where even brief periods of oxygen deprivation can result in strokes or cognitive impairment. And in the heart, it can lead to life-threatening conditions like heart failure or arrhythmias. And remember those sickle cells causing all this chaos? They don't stick around for long. While normal red blood cells live for around 120 days, their sickle-shaped counterparts only survive for 10 to 20 days. This rapid turnover leads to a constant state of anemia, where the body doesn't have enough healthy red blood cells to carry adequate oxygen to its tissues. So you see, the problem isn't just about blood cells changing shape, it's about the domino effect that follows: the blockages, the oxygen deprivation, the organ damage, and the premature cell death. The short lifespan of sickle cells contributes to a constant state of anemia, adding another layer of complexity to this disease. You might wonder, how does all this scientific jargon translate into everyday life? Let's look at some real-life scenarios to illustrate how this crescent-shaped chaos can strike when least expected. Meet Sarah, a 10-year-old with a passion for soccer. In the middle of an intense game, she feels a sudden and excruciating pain in her chest and arms. This physical exertion has triggered a sickle cell crisis, causing blood vessel blockages that disrupt the flow of oxygen. Next, let's talk about Marcus, an avid hiker. On a trip to the mountains, the high altitude, with its lower oxygen levels, triggers a severe sickle cell crisis. He experiences intense pain as sickling increases in his blood cells. Then there's Aisha, who has asthma. During an asthma attack, her oxygen levels drop, leading to increased sickling and triggering a sickle cell crisis. Picture Jamal, post-swimming lesson. The cold water has prompted a rapid temperature change in his body, causing his red blood cells to sickle and leading to pain in his joints. Finally, we have 6-year-old Zoe. Out of the blue, she starts having difficulty speaking. What's happening here is a silent stroke, a result of sickle cells blocking blood flow to a part of her brain. These stories depict the unpredictability of sickle cell disease, which can strike in various situations. Sarah's soccer game, Marcus's mountain trip, Aisha's asthma attack, Jamal's swimming lesson, and Zoe's silent stroke. All seemingly normal activities that can suddenly turn into a crisis for someone with sickle cell disease. But it's not all doom and gloom. Despite the unpredictability and the potential for pain, people with sickle cell disease lead fulfilling lives. They climb mountains, swim in oceans, and score goals on the soccer field. They laugh, they love, they live. These examples show the unpredictability of sickle cell disease, but remember, there's always hope. Despite the challenges, medical science offers several strategies to manage and prevent sickle cell crises. The first of these is a medication called hydroxyurea. Hydroxyurea works by increasing the production of fetal hemoglobin, a type of hemoglobin that is resistant to the sickling process. This reduces the overall percentage of sickle cells in the bloodstream, thereby decreasing the frequency of painful crises. On the upside, this means fewer episodes of pain and a reduced need for blood transfusions. However, it's not all roses. Hydroxyurea requires regular blood tests to monitor its effects, and there can be potential side effects including nausea, hair loss, and a lowered resistance to infections. Next on the list are regular blood transfusions. This strategy is pretty straightforward. By increasing the number of normal red blood cells in the bloodstream, the percentage of sickle cells is reduced. This can be particularly effective in preventing strokes, a serious complication of sickle cell disease. But it's important to remember that transfusions come with their own set of challenges. Regular transfusions can lead to an overload of iron in the body, which can damage vital organs like the heart and liver. Additionally, there's always a risk of infection and potential complications related to matching blood types. While these treatments have their limitations, they provide a ray of hope for those battling the crescent-shaped chaos. It's a testament to the power of medical science that we can fight back against this genetic glitch, turning a potentially life-threatening disease into a manageable condition. As we explore further into the world of sickle cell disease, we'll continue to uncover more strategies, more solutions, and hopefully, one day, a cure. But for now, these treatments stand as crucial lifelines for those living with the disease, offering a chance to lead a more normal, less painful life. While these treatments have their limitations, they provide a ray of hope for those battling the crescent-shaped chaos. Sickle cell disease is a complex and challenging condition, but understanding how it works is the first step towards effective management. This journey has taken us through the intricate genetic glitch that sparks the cascade of events, leading to the shape-shifting drama of red blood cells. We've seen the traffic jam in the blood vessels and the resulting oxygen deprivation and premature cell death. Real-life scenarios illustrated the unpredictable nature of this disease, while the discussion on solutions offered a glimmer of hope. It's clear that awareness and understanding of sickle cell disease are key to managing its impacts and improving quality of life for those affected. Remember, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay healthy, and keep the conversation going. Thank you for joining us today. Before we wrap up, a quick disclaimer. The information in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Any health-related decisions should be discussed with a licensed physician. Thank you for joining us in the Victory Education Lounge. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Your engagement helps us create more valuable content and reach those who need this information. Until next time, this is Maurice, reminding you that knowledge is power in the fight against sickle cell disease.